I want to bring in John Carney, Breitbart economics and finance editor and co-author of Breitbart Business Digest, and Steve Moore, Committee to Unleash Prosperity and FreedomWorks and the Heritage Foundation. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Actually, I'll go to John Carney. You heard him, Mr. Biden. The economy was reeling when he came into office. He is rebuilding it. He is putting together Silicon Valley semiconductor bailouts, Green New Deal bailouts, going to have high-paying jobs. Inflation was Vladimir Putin's problem. I always direct this to Steve Moore. Today, I want you to start it out. You heard him say that.
Yeah, this is the lie that got us inflation. They said the economy was in ruins. We needed trillions of new spending in order to rescue the economy when we were already coming back. The fact that they're still telling me this lie makes me very glad that the Republicans captured at least one house of Congress, because we can put a stop to the overspending that this lie generated through the inflation.
So, by the way, the Silicon Valley, the chip semiconductor, that was close to $300 billion. That has to be one of the worst boondoggle bailouts in history.
The biggest corporate welfare bill in history.
Corporate welfare. That's exactly right. So, again, there he goes. He's building the inflationary spending bills and, of course, the Green New Deal on top of the assumption that when he came to be president, the economy was in ruins. I mean, that's what he always says. He cannot get away from that. You think he ever will? Do you think there's any truth to it? Do you think that affected this election, for example?
People did buy into some of this rhetoric, unfortunately. That, for example, a lot of people were telling, I'd say, how could you vote for these people who created this inflation? Oh, it's an international problem. So a lot of, voters who voted for the Democrats just wanted to believe this message. Now, let's get to this issue of the economy was in shambles.
Right.
You know this, Larry, because you were there. I mean, in the second half of 2020, the economy grew by, over 20%, I believe.
Third quarter was 35%.
And then
the fourth quarter was 5 or 6%.
Yeah.
The first quarter, when Biden took office, was 6.5%. Those are facts.
Yeah.
Those are facts, okay? Those are government statistical factoid. The second quarter of 2020 was the killer. The roof fell in. The economy lost 35%.
And the guy who opened up the economy was Donald J. Trump. But they can't get away with that line, nor should they be able to get away with this line that somehow this is an international problem. There are 5 countries in the world that have lower inflation rates than ours, and so many of these other countries are pegged to the dollar. So when we have inflation, they have inflation too. 1.5% inflation when Trump left office, 8.5% inflation. That should be the close of the argument, shouldn't it?
With probably a bad report tomorrow if you buy into the Cleveland Fed nowcast. I think, John, they're looking for 0.8% for the month.
That's right. I think we are going to get a very bad report.
Bad number.
And the headline number will be worse than the core number. The core number might be a little better because gas prices have gone back up. But I think this line about it's an international problem, as Steve was saying, is a deep lie, because one of the reasons it is an international problem is they all followed the same playbook. They all adopted this we need to just spend. And that's why it's an international problem. It doesn't excuse the Biden administration. And then he claims, we're doing better. Well, yeah, we're doing better because we tightened earlier than other countries. They waited too long.
If you listen to those points that Joe Biden was just making, you know what is so frustrating to me? It's like big government socialism. It's like government is going to solve all our government's going to subsidize the industry. Government's going to help these people. No, we need less government. Exactly. We need a lot less government. And you're right. The industrialized countries of the world have spent and borrowed $20 trillion. That is the cancer cell. That's what has to be stopped. And now that Republicans control the House, or will in a short time, they have control over the purse, Larry.
That's right.
They can control the spending.
They might get the Senate. They might get the Senate.
Oh, I think that's true, too.
John Carney, the OECD leading indicators are falling big time. That's a major league recession signal. As you just both discussed, inflation is going to be very sticky. So Republicans come in, either one or two houses, whatever, they will be faced with high inflation and a falling economy. What should they do?
One thing they need to do is put forward a growth agenda. We need to grow our way out of inflation. We can't just have only Fed tightening. Back in 1974, Jude Wanniski wrote, "It's time for a tax cut," after interviewing Robert Mundell. And I think we're back at that point where we have, again, the situation, international inflation. What does the U.S. need to do? It needs to have another pro-growth agenda. I think it's not just tax cuts. We also need to have energy abundance once again.
Open the spigots.
And that's
Open
going
the
to be tough,
spigots.
though.
Build the pipelines.
That's going to be very tough.
Build all that stuff. I couldn't agree more.
You're very involved in the Washington story with the House Republicans as they did the commitment for America. What do you hear them doing? What do you expect them to do? What comes first here?
I think a lot of things that you guys were just talking about. I think clearly energy production. That's a layup.
Mm-hmm.
Let's build the pipelines. Let's build the refineries. Let's take OPEC out of business. I think they're going to get serious about cutting some of this spending.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll give you one example, Larry. $300 billion green energy slush fund. It's a slush fund.
Fabulous.
Yeah. I mean, what do we need that for? Get rid of that.
By the way, I want to run the climate bank.
Yeah, you'd be better than the people that they have.
There's a $30 billion climate bank.
You're overqualified for that.
Oh, yeah, okay. Sorry about that. But really, that's right.
And the IRS, by the way. I think it's a good thing that Mitch McConnell and McCarthy have said, we are going to stop $85 billion. And look, you know what? Why not put that money in border control?
Stop it? Can they stop it? I'm going to ask some other people like
they can.
Senator Kramer.
They got the power of the purse.
But that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
So the work's cut out for them.
Yeah.
It's not that last night was a defeat. I think the GOP did very well, maybe not as fabulously as folks want, but the work will cut out. John Carney, Steve Moore, you're both fabulous.